Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast dedicated to helping you discover great wines with great value for every occasion. On this episode, we review
Pierre and Antonin Petite Sauvage orange wine.
Oh, an orange wine to kick off 2026.
Wow, here we
Where's
are.
my hoverboard? That's all I got to say. Where is the hoverboard?
So late.
Lied to.
It's
Where's
so
all that?
late.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Hey, excited to be getting back into this orange wine, right? Because,
Me too.
you know, if you read the title, we're back into Pierre and Antonin, which,
Yeah.
ooh, buddy, my first real love of natural wine. So,
That's true. This is the
if
one
I
that
had
converted
told-
you.
If I had told you, Colin, a year ago that our
2025,
first
Colin.
wine of 2026 was going to be a natural orange wine that you were going to be stoked about,
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe
you would
it.
have punched me
I wouldn't believe
right in the jaw.
No way.
It would be a,
Yeah.
it'd be a ridiculous sentiment. Ridiculous. But
But
Hey.
here we are.
and I'm glad we're here.
We are. Yeah.
Glad we're here.
2025 was a year of a lot of things, but for Colin, it was a year of growth when it came to natural wine.
It's very true. It's very
It
true.
feels good, too. It feels good. I'm glad I'm here.
Maybe we expand on that this year, right? You
Yeah.
know, this is like a whole new world that kind of opened up for you. So I think
It is
we'll
indeed.
get into it. But I also think to some extent, if, you know, the other two wines that we had from Pierre and Antonin are any indicator of how much we're going to enjoy this one, you might be kind of spoiled up front on that first one that you try in
Very
2026. So the
Very
bar
true.
will be set high, I believe. Well, just kind of all around new year, new us, guys. Third year, by the way, that we are doing this show, which I think is pretty cool. And also kind of inspiring us to launch a little bit of a new initiative. Aaron, tell the listeners a little bit more about what we're talking about here.
Yeah, as Joel mentioned, we've been doing the show since 2023. And, you know, sometimes folks are kind enough to send us a bottle of wine to review, but a lot of times we are buying these bottles out of our own wallets. And so we're trying something new. You will notice that there is a new link in our bio where you can buy us a glass. If you have enjoyed the show, appreciate our reviews, and you feel like donating, we would appreciate a bunch. Every dollar that we raise is going to go right back into buying bottles for us to review on the show and go right back into content and making more episodes so that we can continue doing what we do and, you know, reviewing more wine. And it's super simple. It's just buymeacoffee.com/cheers3.
Super easy. Doesn't get much easier.
That's it. Buymeacoffee.com/cheers3. And you'll see our pretty faces, and you could donate, and we'll review more wine.
Well, we're going to review more wine anyway.
If not, we're out.
But every dollar helps.
We're going to review more wine. We'll just be slightly less poor doing it. So thank you.
That's right.
Beautiful. All right. We're doing something a little different here, getting into orange wine. Orange wine, by the way, you know, I wouldn't say controversial topic, but it's one of those things where it kind of, you know, it's been there for a while. It's nothing new, but it kind of had its a little heyday not too long ago, right? I think it kind of exploded a little bit, and everybody was kind of trying to get their hands on orange wines. It was the hot thing to drink, and now it's cooled down a little bit, right?
For sure.
So here's my question to you guys. You know, still a thing? Is it past? Is there enough to explore here? What's the situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think the fad is gone, but, you know, I think it's still an absolutely valid style of wine. I'm excited to try it. The ones I've had have been interesting, to say the least. I don't know if it's necessarily the style I go for every time, but not really a style I've explored that much. But the ones I've had, I've at the very least, enjoyed.
Yeah, I feel like it's at least normalized to the point that, you know, I think it kind of blew up. People learned what it was. I think if you show up somewhere with a bottle of orange wine, there's going to be less folks who are like, what the hell is that? You know,
Yeah.
there's at least like a passing understanding of, you know, at least a recognition that orange wine exists. I don't think it blew up in the way folks thought it might. Like, I don't think there's an orange wine aisle in a lot of folks' stores the way folks thought it might be a couple years ago. But, you know,
Yeah.
I think it's an accepted style of wine at this point.
For sure. Yeah. It's funny how certain things, little side things, not even that this is a side thing, but like one thing will get hot for a second, right? And like it's the biggest fad. Everybody just got to get your hands on it, and then it just goes back to normal. It's weird. Who knows what it'll be this year? But this bottle that we're going to try today, I don't think is any kind of a passing fad. I think this is going to be a fun, fun bottle for us here, and a fun thing to kind of delve into. So, Aaron, can you tell us a little bit more about the wine we'll be trying today?
Sure. I mean, I think we're kind of meshing two, right? I mean, there's orange wine, which is, we like I said, kind of a flash in the pan. It popped up, and maybe it's there, but it didn't blow up the way folks thought. And then there's natural wine, which is absolutely something that has blown up, and because it has become a really big thing, especially if you live, like me, like you live in an area like around Brooklyn. Or areas like that. It's a really, really big thing in some areas. So, today we're drinking, Pierre and Antonin. We had Antonin Bonnet on the show
Awesome,
a
dude.
couple months ago.
Yeah.
It was an awesome interview. He's awesome. Just a really generous, thoughtful person. Love to have him back. And talk to us so much about what natural wine means to him. And, we didn't have time to try all three of the wines he sent our way, so he sent us this one as well. This is his Petite Sauvage orange wine that we're trying. Their winery is located in the south of France. This is 100% Souvignier Gris, which is the same as their white wine. And so, we'll get into the difference between the white wine and the orange wine, but as far as the actual varietals, it's the same. It's a 2024. And as far as aging goes, for the orange wine, this has 11 days of skin maceration. And that is what's going to be the big difference for this wine and some of the other wines that they've made. The cost for this wine stateside is going to be about $17 to $20 I've seen online, and the ABV is around 12.5%.
Yeah, so fun talking to Antonin. Just such a smart guy. So much love. Obviously, I mean he's it's Pierre and Antonin, right? I mean he's Antonin. So obviously he loves what he's making there. And I was thinking, we could kind of try to talk a little bit more here too about just kind of orange wine, and particularly this orange wine, or we can let the man himself go ahead and share a little bit about this. So we're going to put in here just a quick clip when we did have the pleasure to talk to Antonin. He gave us a little overview, so take it away.
So this is the, I'm opening it as we speak. This is the Petit Sauvage orange. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it looks like you can see it. So it's the same as the white, when we talk about the vital. It's the same parcel. These vine plants were planted in 2017 and 2018. So they're not that old. Now it's an orange wine, so it's a skin contact wine. And the beauty with this is that we have 11 days of skin contact. So the vital changes a bit drastically after 11 days. So skin contact, we do pigeage, so we make sure that it remains wet in a way in the tank. This is, I would say, these days are most popular wines, just because, even though everyone thinks that orange wine is a new thing, it was made in Georgia 2,000 years ago. So it's not a new thing, but it's not really a Georgian style orange wine. It's more on the lighter side. If you smell the wine by the nose, you get a lot of kumquat, orange peel notes. Some of my friends said, type of Campari style, a bit by the nose. It's more exotic. Has a bit more of that. Kumquat is really the one that defines it the best, and a bit more of white tea as well by the palate. The orange wine is also very, very interesting with desserts. So usually what I like to do is some cheese, but you have to be careful what we pair with. But tartelette, like little cake made of fruits, like apple or strawberry tarts, kind of little dessert. If there is a bit of cream, it's even better. That is what my recommendation is, or by itself to get started. And this is what you see more and more in Paris. People get a glass of orange wine, you get that bit of bitterness toward the end. coming from the tannins of the white grapes. Because, in a few words, for your listeners, I don't know if how much they drink, but orange wine is a white wine made as a red wine. So you have the skin contact when usually white wine is a direct press. So you get more, of that body in the wine, and that makes it also easier to pair with food. So I recommend it mostly with dessert. I have a sweet tooth myself, and yeah, tartelette is good, or éclair au café if you go to Paris. You go with this; it works very well as well.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And also, just if we, just want to throw one more huge thank you to Pierre and Antonin, to Antonin specifically for hanging out with us and sharing his wine and his time. Such a cool experience. And just thank you again if you're listening, and big thanks to them. So I'm super excited about actually trying this wine. I think we've chatted enough here. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Tastes like wine.
Where's the bat? I like that my orange wine looks orange.
That is it's helpful to identify. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's in the name there. I don't. Yeah.
That is nice. All right, and very just super, cool and interesting here. I'll let you guys kind of dive in.
I mean, it's so funny because there's so much going on right off the bat in the nose, because we have that the orange wine kind of aspect where it is very citrusy. And I remember we talked about this last time we had an orange wine on, because it is such a misnomer in the sense that there is nothing that has to do with oranges in the making of this wine. Oranges are not added to the wine, and yet you get this like massive increase in the citrusness of the smell. And it's there along with the color itself. And it's a natural wine, so you also just have this little bit more of this like barney kind of earthy something going on top that is also standing out. So you have just these two kind of aromas that are right off the bat completely different than what I normally get, and they're wonderful. They work really, really well. But they're just totally unique and different than what I would normally ever get off a glass of wine.
Yeah, and bear with me on this one, guys, because I think this is kind of out there. But do you guys smell oranges? Like orange liqueur? Like, I'm not kidding. When I stuck my nose in here, the first thing I thought was, this smells like Grand Marnier. Which I don't know if you've enjoyed a glass of Grand Marnier, but it has that orange, the floral, just really nice orange lift to it, which is crazy. The orange in the orange wine. I don't know what's happening there, but that's
I
the
almost
big
don't
thing.
blame people for thinking that orange wine has like orange additives, because there is such a like a mind f to it of just like, it's so much more citrusy and orangey. You're just like, it must be, but it's not.
It's kind of like wearing a band's T-shirt to see that band. You don't expect it to happen.
Yeah,
you
that's
don't
right.
expect it.
For sure, 100%. Super.
Aaron didn't like
I
that.
expect that all the time. You see so much of that.
No. That's so lame. Unless it's like a 25-year-old tour tee. That's cool. Anyway, totally agree. What I was going to say was a little bit more, to me, I was going the honeysuckle route, which I think is very close to that.
sure.
But, with that kind of softness, little subtleness. It's not smacking you in the face, too, I don't think, but it's just a very pleasant, kind of thing that you're getting. And I do agree that you kind of mentioned that barnyardiness, Aaron. I was actually kind of shocked that it's there for sure. Totally agree, but very subtle. Like, to me, the first thing that came out was the fruit, and then sort of that like naturalness that you would expect. Yeah.
But that's kind of that beauty that we were talking about with Amsterdam the first time we had them on, right? Because their whole thing, we were talking about his dad as the gatekeeper, is like, this has to be good. It's not that they're making natural wine, putting out there and being like, it's natural wine, suckers, like it.
Yeah.
You know, like you got to deal with the natural wine part to get to our wine. It's like, no, it has to be good. And by the way, it also happens to be natural wine.
For sure.
And like so it's like, yeah, it's natural wine. So a little bit of that's going to be there. But the grape itself is the real center point, and the aromas themselves are the center point, not the kind of secondary aspects of the natural wine.
Sure.
For sure. One other note I'm picking up, and I don't want you guys to focus too much on the hand soap part of what I'm about to say, because it's not soapy at all. But like, I don't have any other reference to this smell besides hand soap.
Go
but
on.
Like lemon verbena
looks like
hand soap. You know it. No, kind of like that old school dial orange.
So sorry
yeah,
about
I don't hate that.
Exactly right. I'm sorry, Pierre and Anderson. I didn't mean it.
But it has like that like lemony floral lift to it, I think, is kind of what I'm getting at. But that's kind of what my mind goes back to as far as like placing that scent.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking. Now that you say it, I know exactly what you're talking.
All right, let's drink it.
I guess.
All right, Aaron, going to throw it back to you again, my friend. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of what we got on the nose translates to the taste. And I actually really liked when you talked about honeysuckle, Joel. I think that is actually a really nice transition from smell to taste. I think the citrus aspect and the orangey aspect is there, but it's a little bit more balanced. I think to Colin's point, like when you inhaled and you took that smell, you're like, oh God, there were oranges in my glass. And then once you take a sip, you're like, okay, it's all balanced out in the actual taste of the wine. And I think the honey really balances it out. And, and again, you get that kind of natural wine texture and a little bit more of that tannic aspect of it, which I think is part natural wine and also part of the skin, time of the maceration that happens.
Yeah, it's all
in
orange
there as
wine,
well.
actually. Yeah, natural doesn't really have anything to do with tannin. That's all the skin contact, which is why the wine's orange.
And if I could jump in there, too, because I want to piggyback off of something you said there, too. I agree with your point about the citrusiness, but the experience I'm having here, too, is that lemon is really popping on the sip for me.
Agreed.
It's
For
like,
sure.
and in a really nice way. Because I wasn't really getting it until you mentioned it when we were smelling it, but on the palate, like, boy, it's very prevalent.
It pops,
And
for
not
sure.
like not overwhelmingly so, but like much more than I thought. Yeah.
Agreed, for sure. And, mousiness is a big deal for me. This wine is ultra clean. They've done it again. They are 3 for
Certified,
3.
not mousy.
Certified, not mousy,
There we go.
which is incredible.
Yeah.
I think it honestly, it kind of has that Grand Marnier vibe on the palate too. Like there's that orange, there's that citrus, that
Bring the
floral.
bottle now. Every time you talk about it, I'm just picturing the Grand Marnier bottle. That's all I can see.
Side note, I love Grand Marnier. I'll sip it just like
I do too.
chilled or on the rocks. It's
Side
awesome.
note, not
Anyway,
surprised at all. Side note. That fits. Go on.
it does. You're right. But yeah, it's super clean, and the tannin I think in this wine is a very interesting addition to the structure because it has the really nice acidity that we saw in the white wine, but it also has that tannic grip, and which is not at all overpowering or anything, but it's a really nice kind of warm hug.
Yeah.
And I think it plays nicely with the rest of the structure and the flavors. So super interesting sip.
What about you, Joel?
There's something on the finish that I'm trying to put my finger on.
Good
There is
call.
right. Are you having this experience too? You might know. You might have put your finger on it, Colin. I'm still working over here, but
No, I haven't put my finger on it, but I think for me it's kind of that like natural wine funk at the end. Like you don't really get that too much on the sip, but then
Yeah.
it kind of like lingers after, and it's not bad. I don't want to make it sound bad, but it's like it's not quite fruit. It's not.
It's a little bitter.
Maybe a little bit, but it's almost like that earthy.
I like
it
bitter.
almost reminds me of like almost mushroomy or earthy. I think that's where that earthy kind of funk comes in at the end.
You dug this wine out of the ground, and it's a little bit of the soil is still left in the bottle.
Just a little.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like way back of the palate. You're done taking your sip. You're finished. You're walking away, and then it's there. And like it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just there.
yeah. I'm going to think on this a little bit.
Yeah, think on it more. I'd like to. Love
yeah.
to hear the conclusion you come to, because it is definitely different.
For sure. And I want to say again, like, not in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an additional experience there.
Right.
That I'm trying to figure out. So I'll leave it there for now, and I'm going to dwell on this.
Kind of like that taste.
Exactly. Just going to let it linger there.
That linger.
While we jump into some wine drops.
Ooh, let's learn some stuff.
Time to drop some knowledge. Wine drops.
All right, so we've talked a whole lot about just orange wine and how it came and went, all that good stuff. But let's stop even playing that game. And orange wine is a legitimate style of wine. Been around for a while. And like we're experiencing here, have some really cool and interesting things that are going on with it. So I just want to start kind of our conversation here with the highest level question we could probably ask on this episode, which is for you, Aaron. If folks aren't familiar with orange wine, what the heck are we talking about? What makes an orange wine an orange wine?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to just restamp because, as always, like sometimes things just kind of get into the zeitgeist without actually just really like stamping down what it actually is. And so, contrary to like what the name says, orange wine has nothing to do with actual oranges. It is a skin contact white wine. So imagine it's kind of the opposite of rosé. All right. So if rosé is made with red grapes, and when you take the grapes out faster, so it's less skin contact, so it's pinker than, you know, when you leave the grapes in longer and it's like that darker red. Reverse that process and leave the white wine grapes in longer. And so it creates a deeper hue and gets closer to that orange color. And so that process of leaving the skin contact in longer is called maceration, and that is what creates orange wine.
And I think, like, for example, you mentioned up top too, Aaron, that this Pierre and Antonin orange wine that we're drinking today was 11 days that it sat on the skin.
Mm-hmm. And then a couple other details they tossed in with that. So they said without destemming or crushing. So they literally just like leave them in there and they just let it all kind of sit and come out naturally. And then they age it for 5 months in white oak. And that's how they get, you know, to where they are. So like Mike kind of mentioned, a lot of love there, a lot of thoughtfulness in how they're getting there. But yeah, it's all that skin contact getting this color and this flavor, not shoving oranges into the wine.
That's right. No oranges
Noted.
here.
No oranges were harmed in the making of this wine. So, you know, that being said, we just talked about maceration quickly. Colin, can you go a little bit more in depth? When we say maceration, what are we talking about?
Yeah, so another way to think of how the wine is made is more like a red wine. So you basically take the process of a red wine and do it with white grapes, and that's how you get orange wine. So maceration is basically just letting the grapes sit with their skins, and Aaron, you said in this case the stems. So what that does is extract flavor, color, and tannin. As opposed to white wine where the juice is pressed off the skins immediately, this is going to sit in contact with the skins. Orange wine can be aged in many different vessels. Aaron, you mentioned this one was aged in oak. You can also age orange wine in stainless steel, and of course the Qvevri, which we've talked about on our Georgia wine episode. Orange wine is actually the oldest method of making wine. So, you know, it's a very versatile style, and you can do a lot with it depending upon what the winemaker's trying to do. So because of that, there are a lot of different flavors that you can expect out of an orange wine. Joel, can you give us a little insight into what some of those flavors might be?
Well, yeah, let's see how we did.
Yeah, no, let's do it. So what's really, really cool about this is, so as we've talked about, white wine grapes, they stay on the grape skins for a little while. So what you end up with is, in many ways, a really, really different experience, as you might imagine. So a lot of the things that we've kind of been talking about, you end up with these like kind of funky notes a lot of the time. So not just attributed to the fact that we're enjoying a natural orange wine today, but it's a characteristic that you might find in your standard orange wine as well. So also some things that we've called out here too, as far as aromas are concerned, some of those floral notes, especially dried flowers in particular. Apples, and then also it's actually not terribly uncommon, Colin, to pick up on a little bit of an orange note here too, just the way everything flows. Yeah, it's actually you'll find it across a lot. So
very cool.
Pretty interesting there. And then, on the palate, some of the things, it's funny, I feel like we don't really talk about orange wines too much in kind of the fall, but some of these notes really, really align to kind of those fall flavors. You get a lot of apricot, a lot of kind of roasted nut on the palate, some tea as well, little black tea kind of notes. I love you guys are having some sips right now. Hopefully some of these things are poking through. And then the coolest part too,
one. Yeah.
The tea, are you finding that a little bit now?
Yeah.
There you go. To be honest,
I would have never in
Love it.
100 years would have named that on my own. And now that you said, I'm just like, yeah, shoot, yeah, that's there.
Isn't that funny? I love when that happens. You hear something and you're like, oh yeah, that's in there. And then as you guys are sipping again and thinking about this, probably the coolest thing that is a result of just this time that this wine spends sitting on the skins is that texture. And I think this has been something that we've all kind of called out. We're all trying to fully understand because we end up with this, bitter and lovely wine, but it also has that tannic grip. And that's all a result of the aging on the grapes that occurs. So proud of us too for calling all of that out. So, that medium kind of, weightiness that we're all experiencing too, totally what you would expect from that. So
I just want to say real quick, I think of all the times that we've kind of gone through expected flavors, this is the one that's blown my mind the most because I wasn't necessarily picking up on the tea or the apricot, but now that you mention it, like the black tea might be the note that Joel
that's the finish.
We were talking about.
That's the finish.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. 100%.
And that kind of matches like the bitter, right? Because tea kind of has that, that bitter kind of
like
aspect
dryness.
To it.
Bitter, slightly earthy. Yeah. Black tea has tannin, which, is obviously, as we've talked about, apparent in this wine. So that brought together so much, which is awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Love that. Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
Neato.
Love it. All right. All of this learning, all of this, I think our mind's blown a little bit right there. We're experiencing the wine slightly different now after talking about it, I think, which is so cool. But it leads me to one of my favorite questions whenever we're talking about wine. What does this pair with? Well, food-wise, does it pair well with anything? If you were drinking this at a dinner, what are you pairing with this? Aaron, help us.
Does it pair well with anything, you ask? Well, let me tell you, Joel, it pairs well with everything.
Oh, wow.
This is something I just learned, and I'm actually really excited about this, and it makes so much sense because of the high tannin aspect and the high acidity. That kind of aspect of being both the white wine acidity and the tannic aspect of almost being red wine-ish, it matches food in a way that you don't always get with a bottle of wine. So you can pair it up with more bold cuisine, like Thai food, Indian food, Ethiopian food. You can go with like a more salty dish. You can go with rich meats. You can pair this up with like a funky cheese board. Like there's a lot that you can do because you know that this is going to kind of cut through everything, but also kind of stand its own ground. So I don't know. I was kind of reading about this earlier, and I was like, man, like this would be such a great, not only style of wine to kind of put out there with the food when I'm thinking about like a couple courses, or to kind of just like shock my guests and to think about like, hey, like you weren't expecting this, not just as a wine to put out to sip, but also to pair, but also again thinking about Pierre and Antonin, and knowing that this is a solid natural wine and one that is kind of generally available, like a natural wine you can put out there too, an orange wine that's going to pair well with food. Just kind of like a really cool, just a guaranteed conversation starter. So does it pair with any food, Joel? Yes, Joel. Yes, it does. My God.
Good.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm glad I asked.
I love the funky cheese board call, because I could totally see that. Like this kind of would take the place. I think that orange flavor, especially in this wine, could really take the place of almost some of those orange like jellies on there. You know, it kind of gives that same vibe. So I think that would be really, really cool experience, the funky cheese with especially this orange wine. I think that would be incredible.
Colin sitting there with his Grand Marnier and a funky cheese board, just living the dream.
That's right.
Sounds
And
great.
now we just take that Grand Marnier away and we just give you some natural orange wine, and no one saw it coming.
That's right. 2026, Colin, baby. Welcome.
That's it. That's it. Only drinking natural wines from this point
Only
forward.
natural
eating
wines all
funky
year.
cheese.
I don't know if you do
That's
that,
it.
Colin, but all year, all episodes are natural wine. Okay, excited.
Hey, if they're all from Pierre and Antonin, I'm in.
Yeah, 100%. If we could find 52 weeks of Pierre and Antonin, sign me up.
Nice.
Love that. Awesome. Oh, man. All right. I'm super excited to go back after learning a little bit more and kind of talking about it. I think we all had a couple of connections in the brain there. Anything new that you guys are experiencing? Let's actually go back, because I think there's going to be a lot of cool stuff to talk about here.
I'm just glad you nailed that like tea
Yeah.
note.
Yeah, that was
Because
huge.
that was it. That was the piece. That was just that lingering aspect. Yeah. So, but for me, like everything's just kind of sitting. I've had this straight out of the fridge. I've had it sitting for a little bit. It just has this kind of nice body. It's that orange wine kind of mid acidic tannic balance that is really cool. And I think mixing that also with kind of the natural wine style of Pierre and Antonin is just creating a really neat experience for me.
Yeah, and I think, again, my mind is just blown by that learning segment, because it really just put a bow on everything here. It's really cool with a lot of what should be expected is in this wine. And I just love being able to compare in real time things you should be tasting and things you aren't necessarily thinking about to things in the wine. Just really cool experience. So that was awesome.
Totally. Could not agree with both of you anymore, and I also cannot wait anymore to jump into these reviews. I'm excited to talk about it more with you guys. Let's do it.
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
All right, I'm the host. I'm going to go last. I've been going to Aaron first this whole episode for everything. So I'm going to keep it consistent. Aaron, what do you think?
I didn't know what he was going to do.
No, I gotta be honest. Like I can't even say I was nervous. We had such a good experience talking to Antonin a couple months ago. I just knew it was going to be good, but I was a little nervous because it's orange wine, and orange wine is a unique style within itself, and natural wine is a unique style within itself. And, you know, the white wine was great and the red wine was great, but they were their own unique versions of white and red. And so I was like, okay, so now we're going to have orange natural wine. And
You're doing
it's
too
good.
much.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a lot. It's a lot. It's layers on layers on layers. And it's good. It's good. It is a really good bottle of wine. If you're a natural wine drinker, you're going to love this. If you're an orange wine drinker, you're going to love this. If you have never experienced either and you just like trying wines, you're going to love this. It's just high quality. It's really good. It's at a very reasonable price from what I can see. And it's just good. It's just good. And so I would say it's an absolute must share. If you can get your hands on it, grab it, try it out, try it with food, share it with friends. I can't recommend it. I can't recommend it any more than that.
Colin, what do you think?
Yeah. So I checked my wine fridge on this one because I am enjoying the hell out of this.
Nice.
There's unfortunately for this wine, there's nothing I can take out at the moment, but it's up there. Like,
Honorable
is
mention.
this
Colin
honorable
White
mention.
putting an orange natural wine in his wine fridge wasn't on my any year bingo
That's
card.
crazy. Yeah, I love it.
So obviously that knocks it down to the must share category, right? But I mean, this is towards the very top of the must share category. I mean, just surprised by Pierre and Antonin again. One on the natural wine, just shockingly wonderful wines with the red and the white. Had really no expectations on the orange, but I am just blown away by how much I'm enjoying it. I mean, the flavors are awesome, beautifully structured, and from a grape that's really not terribly well known. And they just crush it. They just absolutely crush it. I couldn't speak
Well,
more
after
highly
11
of-
days, they do.
Yeah. That's why he's here.
I'll
folks.
see myself out.
Joel.
At minute 43, Joel landed it.
Joel brings
Well
the
done.
comedy. Well done. Well done. So yeah, absolute musher. I honestly, I'm sad that I can't get this in Orlando. I looked it up as we were talking because it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. I can't really say too much more about it besides it's just awesome wine. And if you can get it and you want a cool experience, go pick it up.
Yeah. No,
Joel.
totally agree with you guys. I found myself at a natural wine bar the other day, and the first thing I did was look through the list to see if I could just by chance happen to see any Pierre and Antonin, because just everything they're doing is amazing. Wasn't on there, unfortunately. But this wine is no different. So cool, so fun, and totally new. Another one where we were like, our minds were blown as we were talking through and learning about it a little bit more and making these connections. That's always the coolest thing. I know I've said it before when we have that experience, but it's the best. It makes for just the most fun. And to me, it is the epitome of the must share, especially, you know, I'm not the one that usually calls out the price again, but 17 to 20 bucks. Like, this is the most fun
Unbelievable.
experience that you can, I think, have in that price range.
And that's like all their wines, right? And
Totally.
that's all their wines are kind of in that range.
In the Petite Sauvage, he did mention they make some more expensive, estate cuvées, but for the Petite Sauvage, they're all in that level.
All the ones that we have reviewed have been in that range.
right, which
Yeah.
fall under
Yeah.
the Petite Sauvage name.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised to hear that you were looking at your wine fridge, Colin. I thought about it a little bit too. It's that good. I'm in the same boat. I'm not going to pull anything out, but really, really got me thinking about it. So absolute must share, and just so impressed with these guys. Really cool experience.
So impressed.
Good stuff.
So impressed.
Yeah.
And I love, go support these guys, because
Yeah.
there's a ton of wine out there, but they're just cool dudes, and they're doing it right, and they're making awesome wine. These are the kind of people that we should be supporting and we should want to support. So,
Yeah,
if
totally.
you see anything
Absolutely.
by Pierre and Antonin, give it a shot, because they're making awesome, awesome wine.
Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
First review of 2026. I think we nailed it.
Well done, gentlemen.
Do you guys have a couple minutes? You want to do a quick game?
Yeah.
It's getting pretty late.
We do
Should
slow
probably go.
game.
Oh,
Nice
no.
slow game.
Yeah,
Nice, long.
Please-
What's our long?
please, the longer the better.
Game.
Yeah, remember we
I'm
talked
thinking
about
of a number between 1 and 406.
Oh,
Colin, you're first.
I just want to say we previously talked about cutting recording time down. We are so far doing a terrible job. So
we're doing great.
Let's go.
we got a
Let's do it.
whole year to get better, buddy. It'll happen.
Yeah.
By 2027, we'll be in the pocket, baby.
This is our best recording time of 2026, actually.
That's true. I agree.
That's true.
And our worst.
I can't argue with that.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, we're playing a game that we have not played in a while. This game is called Pick Your Poison.
Pick your poison. Pick your poison. Pick your poison.
There it is.
The
Pick Your
Joel
Poison is a game where I present you with two scenarios that are kind of equally trash, and you have to choose one of them. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
I think so.
All right. This one is near and dear to my heart because it just personally kills me, and I'll tell you why at the end. Your
wait.
choices. Pick your poison. You can either wait in line outside in the cold at a bougie restaurant with the worst people on the planet, or outside of a club. But there's excellent.
Just go ahead. Stop there.
But you know what I'm going to tell you? I'm gonna spice up a little bit. There's excellent wine inside, and it's free. There's free wine on the inside, and it's the best wine you've ever had in your life. But it's probably like a 2-hour wait. And it's just everyone around you is taking selfies and Instagrams, and they're way too pretty. Or right across the street, you can just get off the line, and you can walk into just a really trashy pub. But it's like empty, and you can sit in there with like 4 of your best friends, and you're not gonna drink wine, but you're not gonna be in that line anymore. Pick your poison.
So, a clarifying question: when you say good wine, best wine, is this like, any wine we want it to be?
Let's say
Is this like-
any wine you want to be, but you gotta suffer in that line for 2 hours. I'm gonna say 2 hours
Okay.
minimum.
All right, easy. Sign me up for 2 hours. Like if I can drink,
Okay,
if I can
good.
drink, DRC and first growth Bordeaux, sign me up. For 2 hour wait? You saying you can't wait 2 hours to drink some of the best wine in the world at a crappy club? I don't know.
No, I'm so glad you said that, Joel.
I'm putting myself in that situation, and I would like to think that I would have the patience.
It's New
both
York
in time
it's February.
and with people. Yeah.
It's 15 degrees feels like 4, but everyone around you is wearing mini skirts and idiot outfits.
Wait, is that supposed to make me want to stay more or leave?
Yeah, because they're whining
Joel's
the
in on
entire
mini
time.
skirts.
Yeah.
Joel's
What
in a
was
mini
it?
skirt. Joel, you're also wearing a mini skirt.
Oh, that's what I had in mind. Sure.
It's New York.
Well, then yes, I'm definitely in his miniskirts.
Everyone's bumping into each other. People keep walking past you, being like, "I know a guy," and trying to get in. And some of them get in. And then someone else yells, "But I've been here for 2 hours." And, it's just...
You know how there's like a thought where, like, if hell exists, it's different for everybody and it's kind of like catered to your own thing? That's pretty much what it would be for me. So I think I'm going to go. I'm really thinking about this one because there's a lot of wine that I would really love to try. But in reality, I think I'm going to be hanging out over in that cool, cozy pub with my buddies, drinking mediocre wine.
It's a wild take.
I will convince myself that I will have an opportunity at some point to try some of these wines that I really want to try in a more comfortable setting down the road, and I'm having the good night tonight with my friends in the pub.
Yeah, no,
Aaron.
I wrote this because that is my hell. Zero hesitation.
Yeah.
I lived in New York City for 15 years. I still work there. I do not wait in lines outside of bars. It's a personal rule because it is just you are surrounded by the worst experience of everything around you is awful. I am in that bar so fast, and I am drinking the worst Bud Light on the planet.
If you can't wait 2 hours for nonstop best wine in the world tier wine, then what are we doing here? What are we doing here? 2 hours. I mean,
you're going to make great content for the pod, Colin, in there.
Yeah.
Listen, that's fine. Sign me up. I will be fist pumping my ass off if I'm.
Once you're in, you're having a great time, but you gotta.
Yeah,
gotta get in.
Easy. Sign me up for the club.
No thanks. No thanks. No.
All right, well, there you have it. Aaron, you and I are hanging out at a cool pub. Colin, who knows what Colin is doing over there.
Doesn't even have a shirt on
crazy.
anymore
Drinking
at
the
this
best
point.
wine in the
Yeah,
world.
that's
Pumping my
right.
fists is what I'm doing.
Yeah. We're hanging out. We're relaxing over here. Either way, wherever you are, you guys or listener, hope it's great. Thanks for hanging out with us for the first episode of Stop Wasting Your Wine in 2026. Hope you had a great new year.
Wild.
Hope you have a great year ahead. Going to be fun. We're going to do a lot of fun stuff on this show, so hope you'll join us and come along. Colin, if folks do want to kind of start, hanging out with us a little more, talking with us, what's the best way that they can do that?
Yeah, for sure. And before I get here,
Yes.
I want to know, if you're listening to this podcast, are you in the club with me, drinking the best wine in the world after a short 2 hour wait? Or are you with these jabronis drinking Bud Light in some dive bar? So let us know.
Colin found a question of the week. He found it. He found it. That's the one he's
That's
like.
perfect.
Earlier in the show, Colin was like, "We're not going to do a question of the week," and then it was like, "No, we're doing a question
doing
of the
it.
week right now."
All right.
That's a fair question. Yeah.
Anyway.
Pub or club? Pub or club?
Pub or
Club.
Club. That's right, baby. And if you'd like to respond to that, you can catch us on Instagram.
Nice.
Best place to do that. You can also email us, cheers@stopwastingyourwine, and head on over to YouTube. Smash that subscribe button. We would really appreciate that.
Really would. And thank you for listening. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling a friend. And we will see you next week on another fun episode. And in the meantime, remember, stop wasting your wine.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.